One of the things we'd like to do in this programme is actually give you a bit more idea of what a wide range of ferry routes we have from the UK to the continent. You don't just have to travel from Dover-Calais, although of course that is the shortest route, the quickest in time terms and often the cheapest. The most popular, most frequent ferry operations from the UK to the continent are the Dover-Calais services operated by P&O and Sea France, and that's also the very popular route operated by Eurotunnel. Norfolk Line, with their fleet of large and modern ships, link Dover to Zeebrugge. New Dover entrant LD Lines, a French company, are starting 2 new services in 2009. The first in February from Dover to Dieppe, which reduces the road journey by about 60 miles if you're heading for Paris, and is reasonably easy for Normandy. In July 2009 they start running to Boulogne, where a new terminal is under construction right now. The journey is roughly the same as the Calais trip, and motorway links are similarly nearby. It has been some time since we've looked at the ferry routes, and one of the most noticeable things this year is how all the ferry operators have moved from what you might call a standard price list onto what's called dynamic pricing. This is a system that's exactly the same as that used by the budget airlines. What it means is that the price of your ticket is constantly adjusted depending on how full or how busy that particular sailing is. So for example, if you select a sailing in the summer and the ship is empty at the moment, you might get a very good price. If you go back in 3 weeks' time when the ship is 3/4 full, you might get a very high price. If you go back yet again a couple of days before the actual sailing, you might get a low price again because they want to fill up the last little gaps. Sea France is the French flag carrier on Dover-Calais, and they have a good operational record on the route. Their most recent ship is the Sea France Berlioz, built in 2005. As you'd expect, they carry a greater proportion of French trippers and travellers than the British flag carrier P&O. Of course, P&O are owned by the government of Dubai, if you didn't know, but hey, too complicated. P&O are also nicely poised for the recovery from recession when they get 2 new ships in 2010 and 2011. Both weigh in at 49,000 tonnes and will be literally the biggest possible ships that will fit into Dover's ferry berths. LD Lines are taking a flyer on 2 new routes out of Dover in 2009, and we are planning to report from the first of these, Dover-Dieppe, early in February 2009. They've got an interesting looking fleet with new vessels planned and in build like the other operators. They'll help to keep up the competitive atmosphere on the Dover routes. Norfolk Lines seem to have built up a very solid business on their Dover-Dunkirk route, and their very smart fleet of modern passenger vessels combine a lot of features that passengers like. Not transporting coaches being one idea that many caravanners and motorhome owners have mentioned. On our website you'll find a clip of our earlier trip with Norfolk Line, and you'll be able to meet one of their captains on his bridge. If you would like to travel eastwards rather than south, there are frequent sailings from Harwich to Esbjerg in Denmark and to the Hook of Holland, those with DFDS Seaways and Stena Line. Further north there are popular routes from Hull to Rotterdam and to Zeebrugge, operated by P&O. From Newcastle there's an excellent route to Amsterdam with DFDS Seaways, which we tried last year, and again you can see more of that on our website at www.caravanchannel.tv. Finally, good news if you're north of the border. Norfolk Lines say they're still on track to reopen the Rosyth-Zeebrugge ferry run with a 3 times weekly service, using a brand new vessel that's currently being built. It's about a 20-hour voyage, but it has to make sense for a lot of Scottish holiday makers who'd rather relax aboard than undertake the long drag south through England. We'll have the latest on the central and western areas of the channel in our next programme, which premieres here on Sky 166 and Freesat 406 on the 31st of December. In the meantime, here's our best advice on ferry bookings and prices, taken straight from Ken Faulkner, Head of Travel at the Caravan Club. He told us if you're hunting prices and you see one you think is really keen, take it. There's a good chance that if you leave it to go back to later, it'll have changed by then.